Hello, my name is Dr. Jim Ave. Um, in this presentation, I'm just going to give you a little background about me. So let's start. I'm going to talk about my educational story and how that follows along with my professional background too. So as you can see, I have a PhD, and I'll talk about how I earned that. I'm a certified athletic trainer. I'll talk about my education there, and I'm also a certified exercise specialist through NASM. So I have a picture of Magic Johnson, and the guy next to Magic is Gary Vitti. He was the longtime head athletic trainer for the Los Angeles Lakers. And in 1988 or 89, I think it was the 88-89 season, I was watching a Lakers game, and at halftime they interviewed Gary Vitti, and he was talking about athletic training. And I didn't know anything about athletic training. I wasn't the most athletic person in high school. By the time I got to high school, and the high school I went to recruited their athletes, and I wasn't one of them that was being recruited. So pretty much was out of sports for a long time, because my long version of my life, I spent several years just working full time before I went back to school full time. So when I decided to go back to school, I thought about Gary Vitti and working for the Lakers. I said, well, that's kind of a cool job. Maybe I'll go learn about sports medicine. And so I started at College of Sequoias. I took a care and prevention of athletic injuries or sports injuries at the College of Sequoias in Visalia, California. So you can see on the map there where Visalia is located. That's called the Central Valley of California. And I went to several other community colleges in California. I had so many units, I was able to earn an AA and an AS while I was at the community college. So I wanted to be the Lakers head athletic trainer, and at the time I was in college, back in the 90s. Well, let me talk a little bit more about where this is. Got out of order in my presentation. So Visalia is the gateway to the Sequoia National Park, and so that is where the big giant redwoods are located. So you can see how big those trees are by the scale of the dude on the screen and how big those trees are. So that's Visalia. Again, as I was saying, that at the time UNLV was the powerhouse men's basketball team. They had a athletic training education program, and so I decided to go to UNLV to earn my bachelor's degree in my bachelor of science degree in athletic training. And I actually got to work a game with the Lakers, and I got to meet Magic Johnson. I didn't really meet him. I saw him. I didn't really talk to him. So I did go to UNLV, graduated, got my degree in athletic training, became an athletic training graduate assistant at Cal State Bakersfield. Worked 2 years at Cal State Bakersfield as a grad assistant and earned my master's degree in education. But the most important thing there is I met my wife. We met at a Bible study within a varsity Christian fellowship. And we were married on June 5th, 1999. And after I finished my master's degree at Cal State Bakersfield, I applied for a lot of positions all over the United States as an athletic trainer. And God brought me to Fresno Pacific University at the time that that is located about 45 to 50 miles north of Visalia. And from LA, it's about 3 hours from LA and about 2.5 hours to 3 hours from San Francisco. At the time, Fresno Pacific was an NAIA school. We had we have 8. I can't remember if we had 8 or 9 sports, about 70 to 80 student athletes. Pretty small school compared to now. We have 16 sports and 200 or 300 student athletes. I'm no longer the head athletic trainer. I'll talk about that in just a bit. But when I first started, I was the head athletic trainer, and I was at the time we were a PE. We weren't kinesiology. I was a PE faculty member at the university. So a little bit about Fresno. Fresno's where Yosemite's at, so that's one of the big places in Yosemite if you've ever been here or come here. The other thing about the Central Valley of California, it's the agricultural area of Fresno. So it's not like LA or San Francisco. I like to call Fresno and the Central Valley middle of nowhere, next to everything. So if you want to go to the ocean, you can get there in an hour, 2 hours. If you want to go to the mountains, it's an hour or two. So we have hiking. It's pretty hot here and during the summers. It's in the hundreds from June until mid-October. So it's pretty hot here. So, and around, I'm going to switch gears now. And about it started in 1999 when I got married. I said, well, I think I want to continue my education. At the time, there was no such thing as online education in that early 2000s. So I didn't want to quit my job and become a grad assistant again. And my track coach told me about the University of Southern Mississippi. They had a summer intensive PhD program in human performance with an emphasis in administration and teaching. So I enrolled in that program in the summer of 2000. How that program worked is that you would take 12 units over 10 weeks during the summer, then take classes kind of correspondence during the year or independent research. So I completed my PhD in May of 2004. And at the same time, I created, about a year later, I created a Master's of Arts in Kinesiology with a PE and athletic training emphasis. At the time, this is 2005. It was a blended online program, which they call now hybrid. So students would do some things online and some things on campus. And then in 2008, we moved that program to 100% online. And I moved out of athletic training at the end of the 05-06 academic year, and been the program director for that Masters of Arts program since 2005. I'm a program director for now we have the Masters of Arts in Kines, Masters of Arts in Sport Administration. So I'm program director for that, teach online, exclusively online at FPU. Again, since 1998 is when I started at Fresno Pacific. So I am married. These are my 3 kids. My twins are currently 7, and my youngest daughter is 5. So that a joy in my heart, keep me busy, and I love them. My wife and I love them dearly, and spent a lot of years praying for having these children. I've been a follower of Jesus since I was 21. Some ups and downs, but the first time I read this passage, Philippians 1:21, for me to live as Christ and to die as gain, has kind of been my life focus verse, because Christ is the most important thing in my life. He's above all. He called me into a relationship with Him. He is my God and my Savior and my Lord. And everything I do, the way I teach, the way I raise my children, the way I love my wife, the way I drive, sometimes not too honoring to God, but I try to do everything I do to please and honor Him with the way I live and the way I do my life. Last things, before I got busy with a little bit older kids, I cycled a lot. Fresno was a good cycling area. I think on this ride that I was doing, it was call it a metric century, 65 miles. Another thing is I love blues rock. This is an artist called Joe Bonamassa that I have seen in concert 9 times live and 2 times virtually. This is 2020. So So if you like blues rock, this is a good person